Good morning, everybody. So, let's talk about strapping the old amplifiers and when you should and when you shouldn't. Oh, I had to roll up my window. So, there's a lot of confusion out there about strapping amps from people that haven't done it. Before I actually did it, I thought it might be a little confusing, especially since my amplifiers didn't actually come with instructions on how to do it. I mean, DS18 dropped the ball on that one, definitely. Like, they really designed a great amp with these Hooligan KOs. You know, they're strappable because they have the master slave switch and everything. You know, the old strapped RCA in and out. But, yeah, I looked through the whole manual that come with the amp, and it's like nothing on how to strap it. Luckily, they strap just like Sundowns and many other brands. Which, you know, connecting the grounds together, I thought that was kind of odd, but hey, it works. So that's all good. But I saw that Steve Mead is coming out with a strapping your amplifier video. And I'd kind of just do a quick rundown of it, like when you should, even when you should try it, you know. For instance, when I put these subs in here, they're dual 4. I have 4 amps. I have 4 dual 4 subs. So really, when I first put them in, each amplifier was only at 2 ohm. And in theory, when you do the ohm breakdown, you know, if they make 8K at 1 ohm, theoretically, they're going to do 35 to 4 at 1. Maybe a little more, you know, or at 2. But I thought, hey, this is the prime opportunity to strap these amplifiers. I can take 2 of them subs that each has a 2 ohm load, which is the lowest each sub a wire to. That'll give me a 1 ohm load. I can strap the amplifiers, and that's going to be each amplifier wired at a half. And that is kind of, you know, ideal scenario here to wire to. Now, I know a lot of people say you should never wire to half. I mean, I see a guy on TikTok that tells everybody they're dumb for wiring their amps under 1 ohm. But once you understand impedance, you're going to see the importance of it, you know. You understand impedance rise, and it's going to take you a long way in this hobby. Because even wired at a half, my amplifiers very seldom ever see a half. You know, I'm borrowing Chaz Smith's old AMM1, and I've done a lot of testing back there, and most of the time my ohm load is over 2 on a pair of amps strapped. So if I'm staying over 2, that's keeping each amplifier above 1 ohm. That's just how it breaks down. Now, you know, when I did a run in here, the burp that I did a 63 on them little Leviathans, you know, I was pushing her hard. I was turned up, not in the clipping, but I was turned up. And, you know, I found the limits of the AMM1 because we got over 20K, and there's some discrepancies whether or not that little thing reads right once you get above the 15K mark. I was well above the 15K mark, and I dropped down to 1.9. So 1.9, I mean, that's going to be each amplifier at like 0.95, so just right at the old 1 ohm mark. So when should you strap? If you're in a scenario like that where you have some 1 ohm amplifiers, but your subwoofer load configuration, the lowest you can wire each sub to would be like 2 ohm, or get a 2 ohm load with multiple subs, then I'd say wire down, you know. Strap the amps together and wire that on there, because that'll cut the ohm load in half. You know, so with me, I had each amp at 2 ohm, and wiring them subs together gave me a 1 ohm load. But Obviously, I couldn't hook that to 1 amp or the other, you know. So you hook both amps together and you break that down to a half ohm. These amps handle it fine. I would have, you know, I've even ran Tar amps, MD8Ks at a half ohm. I've ran them lower than a half ohm with no issue at all. But it all comes down to understanding your rise and what rise is. I have some videos on here of rise, the cause of it, you know. But anytime a speaker moves, that speaker might be at 2 ohm, but if you could just push on the coil with your old multimeter probing the coil on it, you can push down on the cone to get the coil to move, and everything changes. You know, that thing might jump up to 25 ohms. I've seen, just from doing this, I've seen the ohms go like up to 25 or more before. So when a speaker's moving, playing, the ohms are all over the place. And that's where, you know, your rise comes in. Some people call it box rise. But it's impedance rise is actually what it is. They call it box rise. Some people call it a Kaiser blade. I call it a sling blade. But anyway, yeah, strapping your amplifiers, if you have a scenario where you can try it, I recommend you try it. Some people say it's not as efficient. Some people say it's more efficient. I have no idea. I just know there's situations where it works out to benefit you better. You know, and like one scenario might be if you're running 3 subs and you have 2 amps. You know, one option is to run 3 coils to this amp and 3 coils to this amp. Now, I have done that before, and I've had really good results doing that. And that way the amps aren't strapped. It just depends on where your ohm load falls for these 3 coils and these 3. I've also, you know, you could wire all 3 subs together to one final ohm load, all 6 coils, see what ohm load you can get. And then at that point, you can, you know, divide that, and that's going to be what your amps will do strapped, or what ohm load they'll be strapped. I see benefits from both because it gives you a secondary option to what you have going on. You know, when I had the Tar amps in here, I really didn't have no other options because they're full bridge and they don't strap, obviously. But I really do like having the Koreans in here because I have more options for ohm loads. Like I can run dual 1s in here, dual 2s, dual 4s, and I have multiple options for ohm load and wiring. I really do like having these amplifiers strapped because one benefit is I always dreaded gain matching day. And, you know, gain matching is something you should do every couple months regardless, man, just because vibration, it's going to make your little pod on your gain move one way or the other. And it's always good to go back there, you know, every month or every 2 months, break out the old multimeter, your 40 hertz test tone, and just regain match everything. Every time I've done it for routine maintenance, I've always had something off. But when you strap amplifiers, your slave amp's null and void on the knobs. You can turn a knob anywhere you want on that bad boy and nothing is going to change. Because the one that's got the switch for master is going to control everything. So at that point, you know, when you gain match, you use positive from this amp, negative on this one, which is actually the positive. Both positives, yeah. But, you know, you probe them with the old multimeter and you just kind of, you know, set the gain on the master and move to the other pair and you're done. So I got 2 to set rather than 4, which saves time, hassle, and everything. But anyway, guys, if you had questions about, you know, strapping the old amplifiers shoot down here, like I said, I did a video on this before, but it didn't go as in depth. I saw Steve Mead was doing one, and I figured it'd be a good time to follow up and give you just what I think about it. Maybe I haven't seen his yet, but covers something that he didn't. And, you know, to me, the major benefits are your options you get for wiring your subwoofers. You know, that's a really big benefit, and I personally like having them strapped. When I ordered the Synergy subs for the wife's Blazer, I actually ordered dual 4 just so I could strap her amps and each amp be at a half. I did that purposely because I really liked having the amp strapped in here. But all right, everybody, I hope y'all have a great day. Peace out, guys, and as always, bass on.